BRM has had some success in Belgium. We've taken one win and we've had a few Belgian drivers in the past. Mexican driver Pedro Rodriguez took his second win in Formula 1 at the 1970 Belgian Grand Prix at Spa, driving for BRM. This was BRM's first victory since Jackie Stewart won the 1966 Monaco Grand Prix. This race was the last Formula 1 race held at the old 14km long Spa track, and it was also the last race for tyre manufacturer Dunlop. We have run 3 Belgian drivers in the past, but none of them were partially successful. Teddy Pillette was born on July 26, 1942 in Brussels, Belgium. His first attempt to race for BRM was at the 1977 German Grand Prix at Hockenheim, but he failed to qualify. He attempted to qualify for BRM twice more in the Netherlands and Italy, but failed both times. Before his BRM attempts, his best result came at the 1974 Belgian Grand Prix at Nivelles-Bouwers, where he finished 17th. Teddy appears nowadays at many historic meetings and has a role at his father's racing school. Lucien Bianchi was born on November 10, 1934 in Milan, Italy. Despite being born Italian, he was moved to Belgium as a child and raced under the Belgian flag. His first and only race for BRM was at the 1965 Belgian Grand Prix at Spa, where he finished 12th in a non-works BRM. His best result in Formula 1 came 3 years later when he finished 3rd in the 1968 Monaco Grand Prix for Cooper, who had happened to be running BRM engines. Despite his relatively average Formula 1 career, he was very successful in other disciplines. He won the 1962 12 Hours of Sebring alongside Joe Bonnier, and he won the 1968 24 Hours of Le Mans alongside Pedro Rodriguez. Sadly, Lucien was killed when he spun into a telegraph pole during Le Mans testing in 1969. His grandnephew, Jules, also went to be a Formula 1 driver, but he also sadly passed away after a racing accident. Willy Mares was born on October 1st, 1928 in Momignies, Belgium. His first attempt to race for BRM was at the 1965 Belgian Grand Prix at Spa, but he failed to take the start. This turned out to be his final Formula 1 participation. Even though he failed to start in his last race, his best result had already came when he finished 3rd at Ferrari at the 1965 Italian Grand Prix. Despite a lackluster Formula 1 career, he had a large amount of success in sports car racing. He finished on the podium many times at Le Mans and took victories in many races, including the Targa Florio, the Nürburgring 1000 km and the Grand Prix of Angola. Despite all his success, he definitely had a fair share of bad luck. After leading 15 hours into the 1963 24 Hours of Le Mans, his car caught fire while he was driving, but he escaped injury. At the 1963 German Grand Prix, a young German Red Cross worker was killed when a flying reel that came from Mares's Ferrari hit him. At the height of his career, he participated in the 1968 24 Hours of Le Mans only to crash on the first lap and receive a career-ending injury. After a career of narrowly escaping many accidents, his career was completely ended by one final accident. 1 year after the end of his career, Willie sadly committed suicide in his hotel room on September 9th, 1969. Sorry this one was so depressing, but I guess that's history for you. Check r/Model F1 next Thursday for a BRM history lesson relating to the Italian Grand Prix.